Hey, what's up, everyone? We are live on playback. This is the MMA Outsiders. I am Zambando. Hopefully, we're going to be joined by Jack Gold here in just a minute, but we are here. It's Tuesday afternoon. We're going to do a post fight reaction stream to the two major fights that took place this past weekend. One of them in Las Vegas, Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, and of course, the other one in San Antonio, which was headlined by Diego Lopez versus John Silva. We're going to talk about those fights. We may even get into Dana White Contender Series just a little bit. That takes place tonight, rather, from Las Vegas. That's headlined by some pretty interesting prospects as well. So we might talk about that and whatever else that comes to our mind over the next 30 or so minutes. Again, you can check us out. Sign up for a free account. Playback.tv/EDB Network is where you'll want to do all that and so much more. Again, my name is Ian Bando. You may know me as the host of the co-host rather of this show, the MMA Outsiders that you're currently watching, as well as the host of Bando's Breakdowns and the co-host of ETB Sports with Nick Morganson. The newest episode of that show drops tomorrow evening. That'll be at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so you won't want to miss that. And then, of course, you can also check me out over on Football Forecast, where I give my weekly NFL predictions alongside the rest of the ETB Football Forecast crew. Those come out on Saturday afternoons ahead of Sunday's action. So you want to check me out in all those places. Of course, you can check out my written work over at several places as well, including Field Level Media, The Sporting News, MMA Knockout on Sports Illustrated, also dabbling into some WNBA covering the Dallas Wings. I've been doing that since July when the site launched over there. So shout out to all of those guys for what they do with those two sites as well. And there is no UFC event this week, but there is plenty to talk about. It's only going to be one episode this week. There's really no need to do a preview episode for Thursday because there is no card Thursday. So if you were expecting a new edition of the MMA Outsiders on Thursday, barring any breaking news, you'll have to wait another week before we're back on a regular schedule through the end of 2025. There's only one off weekend between now and the end of the year. That'll be the weekend of Thanksgiving. So after this weekend is over, you're going to get a UFC extravaganza from September 27th through December 13th. And again, that one off weekend is Thanksgiving weekend. So just something to bear in mind as well moving forward. So we're a couple minutes in now. I guess let's get started with everything that was this past weekend. We actually have Jack in the building. You finally made it.
Are we here? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Oh my goodness, that's back-to-back weeks of it. Playback. Just I'm looking at you and watching you, and I'm not getting in.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear it, but I'm glad you're here now. I think I'll be able to hear you a little bit better once you're fully connected to your microphone because right now the audio just sounds like it's coming through your computer. So just as a quick heads up.
All right.
I cannot hear you unfortunately now.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you now. There we go.
There we go. I am very sorry for the delay.
No,
But
no, you're good. I was just going over intro stuff, is what to expect this week with there only being one episode. Just a summarization of a few things. You haven't really missed anything. So
no, all good. I'm very excited to be here. I am bummed that there is no UFC this weekend, but we have a big card tonight.
yeah, we have a big card in with Dana White Contender Series, but I think before we get to Dana White Contender Series near the end of the program, it would be a disservice if we didn't talk about the two events that took place this past Saturday. No.
Oh, 100%. Massive fights.
Where would you like to begin, Jack?
I think we got to start with Noche. And okay. I think I want to start off, and I hate to do this, but my two picks of the week, two massive underdogs, Jesus Aguilar and Diego Lopez getting the job done. That main event, one of definitely top two fights of the year so far, in my opinion. What did you think?
Oh, I think so too. I thought both of those fights were I thought both of those fights were unbelievable. I thought they were completely action packed, and especially the Diego Lopez one. Just the ferocious pace that those two guys fought at was just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And it's one of those fights where if you were tuning in sort of as a casual viewer, maybe it's strictly as a boxing fan, needed something to hold you over before Canelo Crawford began. I think it was pretty solid, and overall, I mean, we'll get into this more in a second, but I thought overall the card was really solid.
I thought it was awesome. And when I said top two, the other one I was talking about was Jamal Hill, Yuri Prohaska. Those are my two fights of the year so far.
Okay.
But this main event, I think, made fans out of any casual who happened to be watching this on Saturday night. Because that first round was ferocious. It had striking, it had grappling, and the grappling was active. There was ground and pound, there were submission attempts. People got up. And then that round two, it was just a war, and Diego Lopez set him up and put him down.
Yeah, it was it was an awesome fight for sure. I was wrong on my prediction. If you remember, I had John Silva, but overall, though, I thought the fight was I thought the fight was tremendous, and I was sitting with a buddy of mine, and we had watched the Volk Lopez fight together a couple months ago, and he was freaking out during the fight. He said, "Could you imagine if Volk fought Lopez again? How exciting that would be?" And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely."
I think this was just a you must have forgot performance because everybody was acting like Diego Lopez was a nobody. He just went 5 rounds with, in my opinion, the greatest featherweight of all time. Took a round off him, dropped him bad, has beat all these opponents. I think he's just that guy. But like you were saying, the rest of the card was fantastic as well. Mexicans and Mexican Americans went undefeated.
Yeah, I would argue that this was the best fight night of the year. What did you think?
See, I think we've been spoiled because I think it was either this one or Paris. Because the last 2 weeks of fight nights have been fantastic. Paris had, I believe, 12 KO TKOs. This one had a massive, like, finish after finish. The main card had a little bit up and down, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 finishes on a 14 fight card. You could call the Zach Reese fight a finish if you want to. Like, it was fun. It was entertaining. What was your favorite fight of the card?
I don't know. I mean, I liked most of these fights, to be honest with you. Alexander Hernandez looked really good in a quick turnaround. He just fought in Chicago. We were both there for that. Santiago Luna looks like a problem. I think a lot of people were underestimating how good that guy was coming into the UFC. He looked really good. I was right on Rendon. I was right on the Ultimate Fighter finale. I mean, there were some really solid fights in this card for sure. There were some really good fights. Really
I
solid
think
fights.
if I were to like say people like if you were gonna go back and watch it, I think Donchenko, the tough finale, worth a watch. Alden Correa, what an upset! He came in and put it all over Alessandro Costa and put kind of had a TKO, sorta. He was injured, but he won that fight the entire time.
Yeah, that was an awesome fight. Awesome fight.
Aguilar versus Garul was fun. Suarez versus Lemos, probably the worst fight of the night. Silva versus Puelles was good. Dusko versus Medina was good. Luna versus Quang Lee was awesome. Hernandez versus Diego was awesome. I do want to make a note on Alex Hernandez, though. Even though he's 5-0 in the last couple, he's 4-0 in his last 4 fights, 5-0 at lightweight. He is winning fights, but his new fight style is the worst. He runs away, he runs away, he runs away, he runs away, sticks you. Runs away, sticks you. Like, it is frustrating to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't disagree. I mean, the thing I guess that I would say about that is, you know, I think guys just don't know how to prepare for him yet, and I think with this new style, I might add, and I think that's where the big question mark lies, and we'll see who the UFC matches him up with next. But again, it's one of those where you don't fully know you don't fully know what Alexander Hernandez you're going to get until he actually fights. So
No, 100%. But he's doing very well, to his credit. But the two biggest surprises on the night for me, besides the main event was a surprise, but I had a feeling. But the co-main and feature fights, Rafa Garcia finishing Jared Gordon was shocking to me. But then the follow-up afterwards with Bilal Muhammad saying, hey, Jared Gordon got hit by a car yesterday or the day before the fight, and that's why he had his knee brace on. It's like, man, if you were looking at the betting line day of the fight, Jared Gordon was minus 235 all week. And then Rafa Garcia was plus 195. He dropped all the way down to a plus 125 due to fight time. So that got leaked. Something happened there. It was a weird one. And then just pure performance, David Martinez looked fantastic.
Yeah, David Martinez is fantastic for sure. Another notable performance, which I don't think is getting the attention that it deserves, is the way that Todorovic looked was extremely impressive. What did you think?
I thought it was extremely impressive. And on top of that, he said in the post fight he tore his ACL 8 weeks ago. And in that first grappling exchange, he felt it go. So he already in the back of his mind was like, this can't get out of round one or I'm going to lose. That's what his words, not mine. And he made it happen. He got the job done.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this fight, wins in the first round, right? Really needed a win there. And again, as you alluded to, the betting odds don't lie here. He was a minus 420 favorite, and rightfully so. Unfortunately, I think this is one of the last times we'll see Medina, at least for now. What do you think?
Oh, he's done. He's done. Like 3-0 in the like 0-3 in the UFC. You've been beaten every way possible, and you got in the UFC off a loss because you got beat up good. He's 0-4 in the UFC with 3 UFC fights. He's got to go.
Yeah, he's got to go for sure. What else was there on this card that I really enjoyed? Yeah, overall I thought this card was decent. It was nice to see Tatiana Suarez get back in the win column. That was great. Overall I thought this card was extremely entertaining. I do think though, because we never got a chance to talk about it, I just think it's inexcusable that Kelvin Gastelum missed weight again, and I think it honestly should be held against him even further, to where the UFC just might keep giving him prospects as a punishment, because I'm sure they're sick and tired of his inconsistency. What do you think?
I agree, and if I'm Kelvin Gastelum, I want that. Give me the worst prospects you've got. He's gonna beat him. Like Dustin Stoltzfus was on a bit of a run, but we knew what he was. Kelvin beat the crap out of him, and we knew that was gonna happen. Now Kelvin's chin looks a little worse for wear than it has in the past, and he's slower. But man, that round 2 against Stoltzfus, he beat the piss out of him.
He really did.
And he fumbled the finish by going for a guillotine. He would have had a finish if he wanted it.
Yeah, he really did. You're 100% right. Overall, though, as we kind of move away from this card and put it to bed, what overall grade would you give it? I would give it an A minus, because I think the main event put it over the edge for me. How did you see this card overall?
I agree. Like if we're doing letter grades, I think A minus is perfect. I was gonna give it a 9.1 on a point scale. Like I think it was a very fun card, but man, like an 8. I think it was an 8 up until the main event, and then man, that main event blew it out of the water. The roof got blown off. Diego Lopez, the coolest guy in the sport, maybe. Very cool.
Yeah, overall, a very solid card, but the night was far from over because we had to move over to Las Vegas. Or at least from virtual sense, move apps from ESPN Plus or UFC Fight Pass to Netflix to watch Canelo versus Crawford. You were live tweeting for the MMA Outsiders account. I was live tweeting on my personal account, as well as the Bandos Breakdowns account. Just as I pull this up here, initial impressions of the overall event. What did you think of Netflix's first forte rather, into legitimate boxing matches, as opposed to ones that maybe aren't as legitimate, so to speak?
I might come off as a hater here. I'm gonna take this off with a grain of salt. I think the last 4 rounds of the main event were fantastic. and I thought Mabilsi versus Martinez, maybe, whatever that guy's name, the Argentinian dude. That fight was incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Martinez.
Martinez.
Yep.
The rest of this card sucked. Terrible. I hate it. I'm trying not to curse right now. It was awful. The pacing sucked. The production is every other production that we've seen. They're all the same. The fight stunk. Like it was an underwhelming card, including the main event, which yes, it's the top level fighters in the world, but I will never say that boxing is better than the UFC. Because if you just go bar for bar, look at it, when pound for pound 1 and 2 fought in UFC, that was one of the greatest fights to ever happen, back and forth. This, a little pitter-patter match until round 9 for a minute. And Crawford, great pick by you, Crawford smoked him.
Yeah, Crawford smoked him for sure. I don't know if I would go that harsh. I think for a main event, I think it delivered. I think even though I got this wrong, I think Callum Walsh looked pretty good. But yeah, overall, the card from an excitement standpoint wasn't all that great. And I did see this going around a lot within our circles that you know we're not as people who are MMA consumers mainly. We're not used to some of the things that occurred Saturday night. So as a prime example, like there were just some things in that event that I personally didn't think needed to be there, and I don't know whose decision it was to drag out the main event for as long as they did, but it was a horrible mistake. Because you've watched plenty of UFC events, I've watched plenty of UFC events. When have you ever seen a UFC fight start at 12:45 in the morning our time, 1:45 Eastern? By then the card's already over. So I don't know who thought that or who thought that was a good idea, but that was just a total colossal failure. And I bet a lot of people turned it off, saying that they would never watch boxing again, partially because of the pacing.
I think the biggest caveat, I'm about to go in on this, but I'm going to give him a little praise here. I think the biggest misconception, I said the pacing was horrible because it was horrible.
Well, no, what? Well, no, it was. I mean, you're just being honest. I mean, a lot of people thought that it was terrible too.
But people have to understand, the MMA consumers, that the pacing is going to be different no matter what. It's like these fights are going to be typically 40 to 55 minutes per block. MMA is so used to 30-minute blocks where it's like everything happens within 30 minutes, walkout, fight, decision, done, next fight. Where boxing is like the fights themselves, let's say you had a 10-round boxing match. That's 30 minutes. 12 is 36. It's like that's a lot of fight time. Then you add a minute in between all 12 or 10 rounds. Then you do the decision and then all this. So it's going to be longer. But what I hated on this card, like, man, I think the promotion for the prelim fights, like we thought they were on Thursday. They weren't. They were on Wednesday. No one knew a thing about them. Like not one bit of promotion for those fights.
I was the one who told you about them.
And it was too late. That was the thing. They happened the night before.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
no kidding.
It was just like, it was crazy. And I'm not saying you were late. I'm saying like it was just like in general. And then on top of that, Marco Verdi versus Sono Akali, the first fight of the night, the worst stoppage I have ever seen in my life. That is straight up mob shit. Pardon my language. Literally, he got hit in the chest and he went, okay, just resetting. And the ref said, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's over. It's over. I was sitting in my couch freaking out. Like, oh my God, they just screwed this guy out of the biggest fight of his life. And then on top of that, like the Raiko Santana one, kind of the same deal. Like, I think that was a better stoppage, but like, even that was like early.
Right, exactly.
Rito Satsumi, good fight. Kind of a weak stoppage. Like, some of these were just not good. And like the ones I got wrong, like Daiko got beat, Sergey got beat, Muhammad Alakel looked like not great actually. Travis Crawford looked good, but the best fight of the night was Christian Mabili versus Lester Martinez. That was awesome. That was the peak of the night. It's one of the best boxing matches of the year. I put it up there with Eubank Jr. versus Ben Jr. or Eubank versus Ben 2, whatever you want to call it. Like, it was fantastic. I hate that it was a draw. And then the co-main, we were so confident on Vargas, and we were so wrong. Like,
he just looks so underwhelming.
yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
it was so underwhelming. In the fight, it's like Walsh looked good. Like, I was impressed with how good he looked, but like it wasn't like oh, he's gonna be the next guy. It was just like, oh, he was this much better the whole time.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say it was a typical Callum Walsh performance. And he even admitted after the fight that he realized that he didn't fight his best, which is good. At least he was super humble about it. So
I liked his volume. The volume was good. He looked fast. I thought his fight kit looked sick. I love his gloves. Like, they looked cool.
oh yeah,
But
yeah.
like, man, underwhelming from Vargas. And if we want to talk about underwhelming, do you have anything you want to add to that co-main or the Lester Martinez?
I
Versus
mean the I
Lee?
mean the I mean the I mean it just sucks that the Mobility fight had to end the way that it did.
I mean, Billy won, in my opinion. I thought
I
he
thought he
won.
won. I thought he won too, and I thought you could debate some scorecards as to like how many rounds he won and stuff, but to say it was a split draw was kind of out there. Like what?
I
What?
personally had him 2 rounds up,
Okay,
but
I had him one round up.
like it was super close. But like, man, I'm happy he kept his belt, but like a draw for that war kind of stinks.
I'm excited for the rematch though if they can end up
It's gonna,
getting it done.
it's gonna happen. It's got to happen.
I think so too. Well, before we get into the main event itself and the implications around that, I just want to ask you, just from a whole week long standpoint, I guess we might as well talk about it because we're in the space now. Any thoughts on the main differences that you saw between boxing media this whole past week compared to MMA media? Because I thought the stark contrasts were really, really interesting.
There were definitely contrasts, and I have somewhere I want to go with this that regards you. I think this week was very interesting because I think boxing, it's much more of a show. You know what I mean? It's much more like this grand opus event. Like, oh my god, it's the Super Bowl, like this kind of thing. Where like the whole week in Vegas is crazy, the media is crazy. There's open workouts. But talk about the press conference a little bit. There was like you could tell who were the boxing people and the MMA people,
You,
and
you could you could tell easily too.
there was also, and I'm not saying I agreed with your take, but man, I half agreed with you. Like you made a tweet 10-7 Dana White to the MMA reporter saying it's not the time and place, which I agree with. Like, I think if you ask the question once and they say no, move on.
That was my whole overall point of the whole thing, and
Yeah, just
people blew it up into something it wasn't. That's
and
all.
oh my God, the people hated you, Zan. For 2 days, they were ripping you to shreds like I have never seen before. I had to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, what was that like facing your first big backlash?
I mean, I don't know. I turned off notifications. I logged out for 16 hours. Like it was it was like I wanted nothing to do with half of the people. And a few people um actually actually messaged me thanking me for stating my opinion, which I was really, really, really surprised about.
Well, that's the
Um
biggest thing. Like you just said what you thought. Like you were like, "Hey, I respect the guy asking the question. This is the time. You could ask it once. But if he says, "Hey, not now," and then you keep following it up and then keep following it up and then keep following it up, if that's me, I'm going to get pissed too. I'll be like, "Shut up, bro. Like I
and
told you no."
I don't know how much of the press conference you watched, but because I just have to say this, like based on the vibe in the whole venue, like I don't know, like just I don't know, it seemed like everybody was asking like different things, and like it was just one of those things that I'm just gonna simply say it. I think it caught a lot of people off guard. So
Yeah, I agree. I think I couldn't believe when you texted me. I was like, "Oh my goodness." these people are crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
going into that main event a little bit and not talking about the fight, but talking about like the grand opus thing I was talking about.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's talk about it because I think a lot of people have a lot of differing opinions as to how all of it was. And I'll let you go first, and then I'll give my 2 cents on it.
See, I love theater. Like I love going to plays, I love theater. I
Okay.
think boxing walkouts, especially in the main events of big fights, they're awesome. They are awesome. You can't tell me Terrence Crawford walking out to Elia's music after Elia was talking shit all week, and he's like, "I don't even know who that is. This is my music now."
Yeah,
Biggest,
I
biggest
thought
face on earth.
I thought that was awesome that he didn't know that he didn't know who he was.
Didn't know, but still, I was like, baller. It's like, Elia, you're never gonna be at an event like this. This is my song now. And then Canelo, like Mexican Independence Day, you have the mariachi, you have the band, you have him coming out. The whole crowd's erupting. All of the people in the Legion have those flashing light wristbands, so they're all going crazy.
Yeah, which
Like
by the way, speaking of the flashing light wristbands, which I still have mine, I just figured I mentioned this during McGregor Poirier 3, that he had us wear those during McGregor and Poirier's walkout. And it would light different colors based on who was walking out. It was really cool.
that's pretty sweet.
Hmm.
But
So what happened was, and it's an image that I have buried in my brain forever. Everybody rose their fist at this same time, so everybody's lights could be seen. It was really cool.
that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the whole show of it is awesome. And call me biased, Bruce Buffer's so much better than Michael, it's not even a comparison.
Fair
And
enough. I think for certain things, Michael Buffer has to be there, but from a general consensus standpoint, yeah. By the way, huge missed opportunity to not have both brothers in the ring together. That would have been insane.
massive missed opportunity.
Huge
And
missed opportunity.
I think the biggest difference for me between the two of them is like Michael Buffer, he's got that smooth, old timey voice, right?
Right.
Bruce, when Bruce starts talking and he goes, "It's time," something in my freaking blood starts boiling. Like, I don't know what it is, but like I get goosebumps. I'm like, oh shit, we're here. We're balling. We're like, it's time, baby.
Yeah,
So
that intro. Well, speaking of that, that introduction for John Silva was unbelievable.
fantastic. Like,
so I'm just saying if he would have said the one, the only Sal Canelo Alvarez, the police were going crazy.
the problem with that though, talking about the fight now, what a freaking stinker from Canelo.
Really was
Like he
slow, old.
Yeah, he looked terrible. He did not go for it until the first
Hands were down half the fight, as you probably as you
Yeah,
probably
got
saw.
hit a million times, like nothing too crazy. I think that's my biggest gripe of the fight is where Canelo looked terrible and he wasn't fighting for 9 rounds. And then he went after it for 1 minute in round 9, and then they stopped again. And Crawford was always putting volume on him, but there was one shot of the night, maybe two that I can remember, where he put some freaking meat on that thing. You know what I mean? Like to hurt him. And I feel like the problem with these massive boxing matches is these boxers are so afraid to let go. Like they're so worried. Like I would rather lose a decision because it won't be remembered like as a beatdown, rather
Right.
than like, oh, I just got flatlined by Canelo, or oh, I just got beat up by Crawford. Where I think it's like you're already there, lay it on the line and throw some heat at each other. Because I felt like 99% of the punches were. It was just one of
Yeah,
those.
it was almost like, and I don't mean to be this guy, but I have to say this. 75% of that fight, let's just be real here, was a glorified sparring session. I mean, come on, guys,
Literally,
really?
like I would bet 3 minutes of that was like I'd say they were really trying to slime each other out. The other 33 is like, oh, they're sparring light.
Do you
Like
do you do you think that's part of the reason why in the front row with Turkey and Dana and all of them that they looked really underwhelmed watching it?
I think yes. I one of the most successful tweets of the night, I will say, was saying Mr. Beast dialed in next to Jason Statham ringside. Super strange. Respect to those two because they were dialed in the whole time, smiling, locked in.
They sure were.
Turkey and Dana couldn't have given less of an F, dude. Dana was on with his hands crossed the whole night looking down.
Yeah.
And I can't blame him.
He took out his phone in the 7th round, by the way.
Yeah, I can't blame him. It's like you're used to the most violent, crazy sport on earth, and you go to this? A little pitter-patter boxing match?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Do you think that's partially the reason why he didn't show up to the post-fight press conference?
I hope so. I hope this event showed Dana it's like, where are your priorities at, man? Do you really love boxing? You want to do with that boring shit? Or do you want to really lock in and keep growing the UFC to be the biggest company and the biggest sport on the planet? I don't get it. I
don't get it either.
I think MMA has the possibility to be the biggest sport on the planet because it's global. It's the only sport on earth that is truly global.
Well, besides soccer, but I would agree with you 100%.
Even soccer, it's like it's not in Australia, really. It's not. It's popular here, but we don't produce anybody good. Like it's just like this is like it's. You could be in the mountains of Dagestan, you could be in the jungles of Indonesia, you could be in the jungle of Brazil, you could be in the middle of Africa. Like you could be wherever you want. But yeah, I just think Dana's got to get his priorities in check.
Yeah, fair enough. So just really quick, one last thing. Somebody in production needs to get fired because this main event starting at 12:40 at 11:40 at night and not ending until 1 in the morning our time was just flat out inexcusable. So someone's had to get fired. I just have to say that's the latest I've ever stayed up for a single fight in my life. And maybe it's because you and I aren't, from across the pond, and across the pond they have to stay till 6 a.m. But still, like, just inexcusable planning for this thing to go off at the time it did. It made no sense. There was 30 minutes between Walsh beating Vargas and the start of the main event. It made no sense to me.
I almost understand it. I didn't until you said that because I've been across the pond, and as a fight fan, I've watched. Man, that's brutal. I don't know how they do that every week. It's crazy. How it's like a midnight 1 a.m. start.
You've actually done it? Wow.
I've been to Spain and London for what cards were there? Spain in Barcelona was 275. Yuri versus Glover, couldn't miss that. And then it was Emmett versus Cater in Austin. Watched the whole cards in the middle of the night. It's hard, man. It is hard to do. And now you saying that makes me realize having the cards so late be a 1 a.m. start time or 12:30 start time East Coast means it's a 6:30, 7:30 a.m. start time in London, 8:30, 9:30. So like the rest of the world was able to watch it as well.
Right. I was just saying, do you think it needed to start that late?
I think they made, after thinking about it and hearing you talk about it, originally my answer was yes, terrible, move it 2 hours ahead. But I understand what they were doing. They were making it accessible to everybody. And if it's just one time zone that's like going to complain about it so late, I'm complaining about it. I hated it. But like people still watch if they're like, if we lose 10 million people here, but we can gain 100 million elsewhere. It's just, I feel like they took it as a give and take.
So according to Nick Morganson, who's here in the chat, he goes, I stayed up until 2 a.m. Eastern in New York to watch the fight.
Crazy. And what's crazy, the numbers came out. It says 101 million viewers for Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson, or Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, 41 million. What are we doing, guys?
Well, what are we doing, number one? And by the way, shout out to it being 41 million because
that's a lot.
For the first time in a long time, I had zero streaming issues whatsoever. I thought the feed was perfect.
Agreed. The feed was great. Good on Netflix. But 41 million people is more than like basically any other event. But man, you're telling me 40% of the people that watch Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul watch this? Like, that's sad.
It's got to be more. It needs to be flipped around. It should have been 100 million people for this fight.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like this is the highest level boxing match you're going to get.
Yeah.
And was it a stinker? Kinda. And it was just like, but you don't know that going in. Like, that's crazy to me.
I mean, does that mean that Jake Paul versus Tank Davis on November 14th on Netflix is going to be a stinker or no?
I swear on everything that's going to get 50 million views.
You think so?
It's gonna. The 135 pounder fighting the 205 pounder. Like,
Are
people
you
are
gonna
going to
watch
watch.
that or no?
I want to see the freak show, and I'm sure everybody else does.
Yeah, I'll probably have to watch it for work related purposes, but still, I mean, it's
Hot
crazy
take:
to
Jake Paul beats Tank Davis.
that is a pretty bold take, but I mean, Jake Paul has proved everybody wrong in almost every single fight he's ever had.
He's
So
chosen him for Tank throws like 4 times around, and he's banking on the little guy not being able to just flatline him in one punch because that's all Tank throws. So if Jake can just put a little bit of volume on him and stay outside, which he can because he's a foot taller than him and has a foot reach advantage, Tank might land 10 punches the whole fight. Like, I don't know.
yeah, you never know. Continuing on with this as we round out the show, the last few minutes of it. Looking into Dana White Contender Series tonight, what excites you most about Week 6? And unfortunately, you outdid me last week. You went 3-2. I went 2-3. That puts me at 19-6 overall. What are you at right now going into Week 6?
Going into week 6, I am 20-5. I'm feeling pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right,
This week, though,
let's
this is
take
my
a look
least
at
confident week
let's
for
take a look.
sure.
Let's take a look at the card. So this one has had a few. Would you say a few minor shakeups to it? I'm pretty sure there was one swap this week, but I could be wrong.
Yep. So the only shakeup of the night, which I don't even hate, it was Insu Huang was supposed to take on Will Curry, his second chance on the card,
Oh,
and then
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah. I
instead
remember.
the other Cage Warriors prospect and former Tough alum Patty McCory is stepping in for him.
That's right. So this is the card. Yeah. I feel like this card is decent, but the big one that I don't understand. Have you seen the combined records of Livingston versus Gannett? It's going to be really weird.
That's a fight that I have been trying to like study all day, and I don't know what to do because Gant like has fought a bunch of nobodies, like, oh my god, nobodies, and Livingston has wins in LFA, but it's like, to who?
Right, exactly. I don't know. This might be a hot take. I think Ali might be the best prospect on this episode if he were to win.
I see. I don't think that's much of a hot take. I think he's going to be very good. I think it's going to be him or the winner of the main event.
Okay. And how do you see Souza versus Lee going?
It could go so many different ways because Hector Sosa is, as of right now, the best prospect coming out of Spain. He's 13-1. He's beaten a bunch of tough comp, and he's beaten everybody in Spain basically. And his one loss is by knockout. And the problem with Maxon Lee, like, Hector Sosa is a normal size bantamweight. Maxon Lee is 6'1". He's young. He's dangerous. Like, his opponents are cans for the most part,
I
but his
took him. I took Lee tonight. He's my pick in the main event.
Yeah, his opponents are cans, but you typically wait to see if they can beat a top, like a better level person in a better organization. That's exactly what he's done. A Darce choke against a 7-1 opponent in LFA, and then a knee against the 8-2 opponent in LFA.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it is.
have. Yeah, so just to even continue with that, I don't know if this side you're gonna go, but tonight I have Lee, I have Ali, I have Gant, McCrory, and Uchegbu. That's why I have.
I have. I am undecided on this main event. I've got Ali, Gant, McCrory, and Kovanchik.
Yeah,
I am so torn on this main event because the main event, Hector Sosa is either going to take him down and start grappling him, get some grounded pound going, because I don't think he's going to be touching him on the feet. You know what? I'm going with you. I'm taking Maxon Lee.
okay, and I'm gonna give you an even bolder take because I know that the last few weeks we've seen a pretty high number. I think there's only going to be two contracts tonight.
I agree. I think first
Because
fight of the night.
I just think a ton of these guys are too green, and I'm gonna even make it. I'm gonna even make an even bolder prediction. I think we're gonna see a few of these guys on the 2026 version of this next year. That's I think they're gonna end up inviting a few of these guys back for the new season 10 next fall.
I agree with you. I think I don't think anybody in the first fight gets signed. If anybody does, I think Cody could. I am not big on these FCC guys coming out of London because it's the rival promotion in London to Cage Warriors or England, and it is.
I think McCrory would get signed just because he was on the Ultimate Fighter. That's the only reason though. If he isn't part of that season, I don't think he would be getting signed.
I know. I think my three, if I were to pick who's getting signed tonight, I'd do Patty McCrory, Muhammad Ali, and Max Lee.
Okay. I could see all those guys getting signed for sure, but should be at least a decent card. I know next week's card is a little bit more top heavy from a contender series standpoint, but I'm kind of one of those people. A lot of people are down on the show's product overall. My only thing is as long as the fights are entertaining, I'll watch it every week. I don't care. I don't care who's on them. So
See,
that's kind of
this is my favorite show on television. And maybe each week the competition can go up and go down. Like week 1, it was like, oh, every single person on here could be in the UFC. And then there's episodes like this where you're like, oh, I don't know. But I think the best thing about this show is that they give everybody a chance. You could be kind of mid, you can be really good. You put it all on the line for 15 minutes, and if you are successful, you get in, you get to get your chance. Then a lot of the time you don't do well. They could though. Like I don't know. I think it's
I
just
mean, yeah. I mean,
equal opportunity show.
they signed a winner and a loser last week, and then they're gonna invite somebody back for the end of the season. They do it all. They do it all the time.
Yeah, I just think it's man, I'm excited for this week. I think this week's going to be good.
So you think so far 21 contracts have been handed out. So if you were to guess, you would say the number rises to at least 24 tonight.
I think so. I think we get 3 fights.
Okay. And because we're in our off week, and I guess we can end on this topic, what do you think is the best? What do you think is the best remaining UFC event left for the remainder of 2025?
Man, pay-per-view or fight night?
I'd say one of each.
I think the best pay-per-view is going to be NYC. It always is. I think it's going to be awesome. In fight night, man, that Qatar one might shape up to be pretty nice.
I don't know. We'll see. The full card isn't done yet, I don't think, but
no, not close.
It's looking decent so far.
And I'm hearing Shamrock might be on that card versus Anshul Jubilee. I'm hearing the main event on that card could be Umar if he doesn't get a fight for 321.
That's what I've also heard too. The Umar rumor that's going around.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be some good stuff on here. I think Umar is going to end up getting Song Yadong or Mario Bautista in one of these times. Is Mario and Umar? I think they actually got booked for 325 or 321.
Hang on.
Let me take a gander here. They totally did. It is Umar versus Bautista on 2 or 321.
Yeah, so, in Abu Dhabi. So they still need a Qatar main event.
Call me crazy. I might switch to this card. I lied because they're always stacked on paper and always underperform. I'm gonna bet all decisions this card.
Which one? You mean the one in Abu Dhabi?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so my 2 picks for the 2 best remaining UFC events. I'm gonna start with a fight night first. And I'm gonna say that the card in early October in Brazil, the Oliveira Fiziev one, I think is gonna be awesome. I think there's gonna be something in the air that night to where 90% of that card is some of the craziest finishes you've seen all year. That's gonna over deliver for fight night standards, and fortunately rather, I think Oliveira, even though people think it's too quick of a turnaround. I actually do think my way too early pick is that he beats Fiziev to get back into the win column.
I like it. I forgot that card was happening. That's a good pick.
So that's my fight night. And then if we're gonna go pay-per-view, I'm gonna say the pay-per-view that I'm excited for the most, and I know it's probably controversial, but I'm actually really, really excited for the next one. I'm excited to see the return of Alex Pereira. I'm excited to see whether or not his stock has really fallen off. And I'm also excited to see if Corey Sandhagen can give Merab Dvalishvili any sort of a challenge at all, because a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a cakewalk for Merab. I don't know about that. So I actually think that card is more undervalued than people realize. It's a really solid card for an early October card in Vegas. So
I agree. I can't wait because I'm going to be at that card.
yes, you will. And speaking of being at cards, I did see the tickets for Madison Square Garden go on sale on Friday. Are you still interested?
I haven't taken a look, so let's get a little bit of a live reaction to see what these ticket prices are, to see if I'll be going to this event or I'll just be in the area. We got UFC on Ticketmaster, maybe not everybody's favorite, but pre-sale. What's it looking like? Oh, 18 hours, not out yet.
Okay.
I'm concerned it's going to be like $1,000 for nosebleeds.
Yeah, I'm concerned for you, my friend. I'm concerned for you. And actually, I guess if we were to throw an honorable mention, maybe one of the two Apex fight nights, November 1st or November 8th, are actually halfway decent. I don't know.
I'm excited because my boy Dante Johnson's fighting on November 1st against Nick Klein. That's going to be a banger.
I'm surprised you're not. I'm surprised you don't want to be in attendance for that one instead of the Madison Square Garden fight.
I can't. That's an Apex one, man.
Oh yeah, good point.
It's hard to get out there for that.
Yeah, the only way you can go, unfortunately, because I have personal experience with going to them, is you have to be invited, unfortunately.
Or you could spend a whole lot of money. You could spend $1,300.
That's true. That's very, very true.
I'm not like the Zan man. He's got the one-way pass at the Apex.
No, it's true. I do. I don't get it out there I don't get out there very often. I'm hoping to get out there for the Contender Series at some point. It probably won't end up being this fall, unfortunately. But going to the Apex, even though I've only been there once, is a thrill, and I recommend it. And I recommend it to anybody that can actually see it. So.
Yeah. Hey man, great show today. I think there was a lot of good stuff. I'm kind of bummed there's no fights this weekend. I did make a post, or I did repost something from Homa Fight, which I'm going to pull up, that shows the fights that we have for this weekend.
Yeah, what do we have outside of tonight anyway?
So this entire week, we've got two events.
Okay.
We've got Contender Series tonight.
Okay.
And on the 20th, which is Saturday, we've got Frederick Vasgroni versus Fabio Moraes in Octagon. Now, if you don't know Vasgroni, he is the Neanderthal on Instagram. He's a good follow. He's a scary-looking guy. Pure grappler, can't strike at all, but should be fun. Man, we got two events here. We're running low on this week.
That's a hardcore fight on Saturday for sure.
Yeah.
So
we got nothing. College football and football this weekend.
Yeah, college football and football this weekend for sure. There's going to be too much football on. It'd be fun. Saturday's my birthday actually, which I'm very excited about. So, I was bummed to hear that the UFC wasn't doing an event on my birthday, but it is what it is.
Hey, yeah. They purposely took the day off so you could celebrate.
Hey, they might have. Who knows? Who knows? No, I'm kidding. But seriously though, it is weird to have a little bit of a break. But after this weekend is over, as I alluded to at the beginning of the stream, we won't have a break until Thanksgiving. So we'll have a lot of fights to talk about. That reminds me, not only do we have UFC to talk about next week, we also have PFL Europe to talk about next week too. So,
and speaking of PFL Europe, that main event just changed this morning. Lazy Boy and Kevin Jousset are off the card.
Yeah, that's really, really disappointing, isn't it?
Super. That was a huge fight. And I'm dumb. I don't even know where Nantes is. So
I don't know. either. I'm usually good at remembering where most of these territories are, but that one I simply don't remember at all.
France. It's in France. Look at that.
Okay.
I see London. I see France. I see all these men fighting in their underpants.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, that's gonna do it for another edition of the MMA Outsiders. I'm Zam Bandu. He's Jack Gold. We will be back with a double letter next week on Tuesday and Thursday. Until then, enjoy your guys' weekend off. It's rather, and I hope you guys can find something to do to relax and unwind. But until then, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one, and yeah, we're looking forward. We're looking forward to closing out the end of the year with you all, and it should be a great time. Jack, any last parting words?
Good luck tonight. We got one difference pick, or we got a opening fight. Who's in the opening fight?
It is triple check. Hang on, I got it.
Kovacic versus the British dude.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian versus European violence. I'm
Yeah,
Team Canada tonight.
yeah. You're Team Canada. I'm Team British guy. It should be interesting, but yeah, for sure, for
All
sure.
right, great show, brother.
Have a good one.